There may be no better place to see the tremendous change Charlotte has undergone the past few decades than in NoDa. Today, the neighborhood is bustling with restaurants, bars, and music venues. Modern apartment complexes line the light rail, which slices through the neighborhood before the stop at 36th Street.
Back in the early 90s, you would not have seen much here at all.
That's Charlotte artist Jerry Kirk. He was one of the people who helped create the NoDa Art District in the 1990s, the seeds of today's neighborhood. Kirk has written a new memoir about it. It's called Memories of NoDa.
We're in front of the Evening Muse, right? And right up the road, 1 block away, is the neighborhood theater. And these are the holdovers from what I call NoDa Chapter 1. And everything else around them is new, just in the last decade or so. Back in the early 90s, there was nothing up here. Everything else that took place in NoDa was in the opposite direction towards 34th Street.
Back then, Kirk and other artists were drawn to this forgotten area a few miles north of Uptown because of the cheap real estate they could turn into galleries. The first to come along was called Center of the Earth, which was located on North Davidson in the building that today houses businesses like Pura Vida and Mac Tabby Cat Cafe. Other galleries followed, including spaces Kirk helped set up across the street next to what was then the neighborhood dive bar called Pat's Time for One More.
So right there, immediately you had this little pocket of the arts, this tiny little corner where there was galleries and gallery crawl happenings. The public started discovering the area, the gallery crawls grew, and it just took off from there.
The crowds continued to swell, and when the artists thought NoDa could not get any bigger, along came the restaurant Fat City.
And the neighborhood just exploded. It was the one missing element that the neighborhood needed. You know, it was a music venue, the food was great, perfect location. Prior to that, it was mostly people coming down to see art, hang out and have fun, but Fat City brought down people from all the outlying communities and counties. Fat City drew the crowds.
With the new attention, though, the character of NoDa slowly began to change. Kirk says it started when the owner of the buildings containing 2 art galleries and the bar Pat's Time for One More sold the properties to developers.
They tore it down. It left a big hole in the center of NoDa. So by 2002, NoDa Chapter 1 was pretty much wrapping up.
More developers began to take notice. NoDa began to look less and less like an art district as the galleries closed and new restaurants and shops opened. Apartments sprung up everywhere. The light rail came through in 2018. More and more mill houses in the surrounding neighborhoods have been sold, renovated, torn down, and replaced. Kirk's not bitter about what was lost, but does say it's not quite the same.
I still enjoy it. I think NoDa's a great place. It's a bit too congested, too crowded, especially on the weekends. It gets a little crazy, kind of a circus-like atmosphere. And it was that way in the 90s, but only during the crawls. Now, it's probably one of the most exciting neighborhoods in Charlotte.
Before we go, Kirk shows me one more thing. On a brick wall behind Cabo Fish Taco is a fading white mural depicting the doorway to a fictional art gallery and a sign with the faint letters NoDa.
Okay, we are behind Cabo Fish Taco on North Davidson Street in NoDa. And right behind me here is what I believe to be the first use of the word NoDa in a public setting. And you can barely make it out there. See the N, the O, the D, and the A. And this was shortly after the word came to be. We started talking about it, trying to find ways to promote it. And Terry Carano, who led our group, the Friends of Van Gogh, he came out, and I believe it was him, painted this on this back wall, and next to it he painted the entrance to a faux gallery, a gallery that's not real, just to indicate that NoDa, related to the 2 galleries and the art scene and the artist involved.
It's one of the few remaining pieces of the NoDa of the 1990s, the NoDa Kirk and his friends built.